How are you guys doing today? Want to give you guys a look at this fantastic knife. This was a birthday gift from a really good friend of mine. This is probably, honestly, and I told him this, a knife that I would have never purchased myself. And now I got it in hand, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking, I'd be crazy if I wouldn't buy this myself. I know a lot of you guys know what this is. This is the Case Copperlock with Wharncliffe blade. Yep, you guys know I love my Wharncliffe blades. And, man, I was super impressed with this knife, and I still am. From what I understand, the research that I did, let's talk first. This was a purple bone Copperlock. And my buddy sent me a text, and he was like, hey, how do you feel about purple? I'm like, purple's all right. But not really on a knife that I'm going to carry around, not being picky or anything. I really had no idea what he was planning on. He was like, okay, cool. Well, what color are you thinking? It's like, I don't know. I always like green on anything, be it vehicles, be it anything. So he was like, okay. So when I got this in hand, I was like, wait, what? So he told me he took some RIT dye and dyed that purple bone to a really dark green. And I know on camera here, and even in person, it looks black in some portions. So that's a thing, guys. You can actually dye your bone if you don't like the color. You can see some of the green, hopefully, coming on that top there. And coming around, fading into here. And there are some purple spots on it. But it's not really noticeable, and I think purple and green go great together anyway, so I love it. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And showing you guys a tour around this knife will show you that the blade is dead centered in there. The back spacer, back spring, right? It's not really a spring. This actually is a spacer because this is a back lock. Comes up and ends nice and even. Check that out. And you guys know I love GEC knives. I really do. But Case can do it right as well. This is proof of it. They're still making great knives. So I think it's good just to show, I'm not influenced by any manufacturers or anything. I show off on my channel cool stuff that I like. I do like to make stuff that you guys like. That's why I do it. But really, if you look at my channel, it's cool stuff that I like. That's basically my whole channel, whatever it is. If I made a video on it, more than likely I like it. And I know that has come up a little bit in the past where people are like, how come I don't see anybody ever say anything negative about a knife? Well, if you watch my videos, I kind of do. But usually, almost always, all of us who are making videos, these are our own knives that we have purchased with our own money. This particular one was a gift, but most people don't buy knives that they don't like, so that's why you see a lot of positive reviews, I usually like to wait before I review a knife to carry it, use it, let the newness, let the honeymoon phase cool down, so you're not like, oh my gosh, this is the most perfect knife I've ever had in my life, because that will go away usually within the first week of living with the knife. So, anyways, I know that was a long rant. But anyways, let's get a look at what really sets this knife apart. The lockback. It is a traditional knife with your bone handle, your jig bone handle, the bolsters on both ends. But, did you hear that? This has an incredible action and lock on it. You guys know the lockback is one of the strongest locks out there. In fact, the Triad lock by Cold Steel is a modification on the lockback. It just has a stop pin up here. You don't need that kind of Triad lock on a traditional knife with a really thin blade like this. But this lock will withstand the test of time. Look at some of the old Buck 110s that have the rear lock on them, and you'll just see that this is a fantastic lock. It's strong. It's strong. And a lot of people like how it, still looks like a slip joint because it has that spring coming all the way down. Of course, you do have your dip so you can depress that lock. But let's talk about how nice this locks up with no play up and down. There's none side to side. Look how nice. And keep in mind, this is not a several $100 knife. This is not even a $100 knife. Look how nice that fit is right there. Incredible. Incredible. Very well done case. And they stopped the lock bar here and then the spacer and kept it relatively straight. It's a tad crooked right there, but not by much. Certainly not enough to complain about, especially when you consider the price point. And really, even nitpicking, I mean, it's almost perfect, right? Almost. Right there. It seems like this right side's just a touch higher. That's really nitpicking. I don't think most people would even notice, but you guys know how I do. Wharncliffe blade. This is, I believe, only available in this Wharncliffe blade in stainless. So this is their stainless. It's not going to hold an edge as nice as the carbon blade, but it will stay nice and shiny for you. And it's not a terrible edge holder. I think this knife, with the shiny nature of everything and how it is and being a gift, I'm not going to beat this knife up. I'm glad it has the stainless on it. What? No patina. Yeah, I know. But this is a nice gentleman's knife and something that I do not mind keeping nice and shiny and new looking. It's nice to have your beaters with patina on them, but it's also nice to have where it looks like it's brand new and just got pulled out of the display case. But you've carried it for 10 days in a row and cut fruit and cut all that stuff with it. So anyways, not going back on my word, I mean, of course, given a choice, I will almost always choose their carbon steels over stainless in a traditional knife. But I am very happy. That's why I said I probably would not have purchased this knife. Just based on that it was stainless. But now having it in hand, seeing how the overall look of the knife is nice and gentlemanly, but still a hard user. You could easily, or I could, just me personally, throw this in my pocket and have this as my only knife without a backup knife. Yes, it has the lock on it. It's not going to close on your hands no matter how hard you use it. No, I couldn't pry with it. Of course, that'd be silly. But I do have a little titanium pry tool on my keychain. So, anyways, look how nice and centered that blade is. The Wharncliffe, it's a nice handle length. I believe it's about 4.5 inches closed. And you can get a full 4-finger grip on it. And it feels very comfortable in your hand. I mean, it feels like it was absolutely molded to your hand. This drops down, the bolster here kind of drops down in the frame to create a guard for your hand. And also, I don't know if this is by design or just kind of like a secondary effect of this. It's almost like a choil. You can get your finger up in there and really get into some detailed cutting tasks. I don't know if that's by design or just kind of, the result of the design style here. I love this shield too. I don't quite know what it's called. Check out the shield on this. It looks like a college banner shield or an arrowhead. I think that's what they call it. The case arrowhead shield. I don't know. You case guys will have to clue me in. I'm more of a GEC buyer, collector, user. But anyways, that's why I really was excited to get this in hand. And unbox it and be like blown away by it. Blown away by how nice it locks up. I mean, even Spyderco's lockbacks have just a touch of up and down rock in them. This has nothing. And it's certainly much better. Not going to talk down on GEC because this is a great knife, but it's a lockback. Opened up. Check this out. You can actually hear it chattering back and forth. This happens to all GEC lockbacks that I'm aware of. That's really wrenching on it. This is a nice secure blade. It's not going to close on your hand. You know, you don't really notice it in use, but if you're really being meticulous, you're a knife connoisseur, a knife collector, you're going to notice that. But it doesn't stop me from putting it in my pocket. You can see the patina and stuff on here. You know, it's not going to make me sell the knife. But I know if I send it back to them, pretty much that's about how it would come back. I think. I haven't sent it, maybe I'll get in touch with them. Great folks over there at GEC. But this is how it was supposed to be done. Just nice and perfect. No wiggle at all. It's amazing, because I honestly have never felt a lock back that tight. Maybe I could take that back. The triad lock, some of those guys get that tight with no play up and down. But what I'm saying is like a straight conventional, this is more of a mid lock than a back lock, but you know, same thing. Just that bar would be a little longer. But anyways, nice knife. And when I got it, and maybe you can still see it, you can see it more in person. If I was to set this down on a completely flat surface, it almost has a hawkbill edge. Let's see if we can actually show it off. If I no, you guys aren't gonna be able to see it. Yeah, maybe you can. Can you see it? If it's a little bit curved? You see how it's a little bit curved this way? Anyways, I don't know if that's on purpose or, you know, just kind of a result of some sharpening. Anyways, I dig it either way. Really nice. Very well done case. I am super impressed. Being a gift makes it all that the sweeter for me. And now that I've showed you guys, I haven't been able to shoot a video for a while now, but now I'm going to put it in my pocket and go beat it up a little bit. And then buff it up afterwards. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one pretty. I think you guys can understand why. Look at that long pull. You can pinch it open. It has a real nice action. From what I understand, this is a limited run. The purple Wharncliffe trappers. I believe they make the Copperlocks in a lot of other different configurations, being a lot of different cover options, shield options, and then they mostly have the clip point blades on them. And I might have to pick up one of those, a clip point blade Copperlock. Really, I mean, this knife just grows on me the more I look at it. This nice bolster. It's almost like the first time you see a Spyderco. You see the Spyderco with the big hole in the blade, and you're like, ugh, who wants that, you know? And then the more you look at them, you own one or two of them, and you go, yeah, this makes sense. And then all of a sudden they start to look nice. That's exactly how I feel about Wharncliffe blades. And I love them. In most of my EDC tasks, this way exaggerated drop down point is great for utility work. There's a reason why, like utility construction knives and box cutters, they all have Wharncliffe blades. There's a lot of utility in there, so we could talk more about that later. But anyways, I love the Case Copperlock. I know you guys, or at least some of you have them. Let me know, let everybody else know what you think in the comment below, if you would. I just want to know if you guys are as impressed as I am. Check out the design, how this comes up and down, and boom, matches right into the bolster and rolls around. Just a nice clean look. You don't see that on many slip joints. Mostly they have this ledge that comes off here. Right? Let's see. No, that's all I have here right next to me. It's the same 15 with the clip point. So anyways, I love that. They hid the tang in that guard. Ends up perfect right there. Has a beautiful walk and talk. Just a nice smooth pull. Once you break past the detent, it does have a strong detent. I mean, like a bear trap. And that's probably why this lockback locks up so tight. But anyways, once you break past this detent, it just rolls around super smooth until it bites in, until that slams shut. And then it hops into place. This is a super secure knife. Anyways, I like it a lot. To the individual who sent this to me, thank you so much. It means a lot. I never expect anything, but this community is awesome. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you have a great day. See ya.